And of course, ever present to the side, behind and in front, Daniel continues within the business, helping us grow the region really quite successfully.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, potatoes is part of my passion, so as far as I can go on working, I have to do it. Otherwise, my wife is going to kick me out of the house.
This is more about our global reach and our impact in a new region, which was opened up to us 4 or 5 years ago. I've already seen the slides. I think you're going to enjoy them. I'll hand you over to Daniel Caldi. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Dan. You put a lot of pressure on me. I'm getting nervous. So I'm now speaking seriously. I really thank you, Dan, for this opportunity. I'm very pleased to be here, and I hope that you will enjoy and take advantage of the presentation. Okay, so first, lifetime in potatoes. It's nice. I took some time to review my past life, and although you don't believe me, it's the same guy. I am the same, maybe with some changes. So I started working at the university, La Plata University, as soon as I obtained my degree in 1978. And my first activities were, of course, as assistant professor and researcher. And I really enjoyed that time. Attended to many different plant physiology congresses in Argentina, so nice. And I also have time to have some fun. In 1981, I obtained a fellowship from the Netherlands government to attend the potato course that is no longer available, but that was a fantastic opportunity. 3.5 months visiting any kind of potato field, institute, or whatever in the Netherlands. And of course, as I said, we have time for fun. But don't forget that picture, 1981. So when I was you see, very young. Where is my daughter? I was young sometimes. You never saw that. And the nice time at the university was that you were able to work not only in potato, that was my main subject, but also in other crops. So I have time to work on wheat, have time to work on very nice aspect of potato physiology, like photosynthetic aspects. So it was fun. It was fun to work at the university. I also have the opportunity to do some exchange program with the Rotary. It was also fun to work in different provinces in Argentina. As I said, not only on potatoes, but I also work on the field, not only on the desk. And I'm also very active during many years with the Latin American Potato Association. Our last meeting was in Ecuador last July. So I have been always active in the association. And as I said, the important thing at the university is that you were able to work in different research aspects. And I have a director at that time. He passed away many years ago, and the guy was an observer. He was walking everywhere, looking at the trees and whatever. So one day I say, Daniel, I want you to walk with me into the woods. I say, into the woods? Yes. And look at the trees. And I started to look at the trees, and that Tillandsia recurvata species appeared as a weed for the forest. So we spent a lot of time working on that, very nice study. We discovered a lot of things about that, how to control. So the time at university gives you that ability to work on many different subjects, and I like that. And I also give me the chance to travel a lot. I'm not going to say as a consultant, because my friend in the table doesn't like the word consultant. But we did a lot of work in Argentina from north to south. Many years ago, we developed a program to demonstrate that in the Tierra del Fuego island, well in the south, we can produce sweet potatoes in a very isolated area, so there are no aphids. It's a very safe place to grow potatoes, and you also don't need to apply chemicals because there are no diseases, no pests. The only thing that you only have to apply, the only resource that you have to apply is water to prevent frost and fertilizers. So it's a very nice place to. The south of Argentina, Patagonia, is not only nice for fishing, Paul. I know that you only know fishing, but it's also a good place to grow potatoes.
I'll come and have a look.
We did a lot of work also on at that time in the 2000 when the processors started to work in Argentina. There were no other options. You have to treat your potato with CIPC or with MH. So we did a lot of work. I never liked CIPC, not because now I'm working for Restrain, but I never liked it. So we did a lot of work with MH. And then during those years, I invited a colleague from the university in the Netherlands to work with me in Argentina. And the first thing the guy told me, "Hey Daniel, you are a professor and you don't have a doctor title." Well, I said, in Argentina you don't need that to be a professor. To make the story short, he offered me to do a PhD in the Netherlands with the sandwich program. So at that time I already have 40, so I was not a young boy. But the possibility to do it in a kind of a sandwich program was that you go to the Netherlands for some time, organize a program, you did all the research in your country, and then went back to defend your thesis. So that was part of the story. We like to celebrate after the PhD thesis. And that was also part of one of the big change in my life, because at the defense was at that time the former VP of Agriculture of McCain, a Dutch guy, probably well known by Joachim, is Tony van Leersum. And in the thesis, I have a chapter about the work that I did for McCain, but I have to ask for authorization for that. I mean, I cannot publish that without any kind of authorization. So by chance I called Tony when I was in the Netherlands, and he was at home. Imagine that this was 2000, so no WhatsApp, no emails, not that kind of stuff. And say, "Hey Tony, look, I did that work for McCain in Argentina. It will be okay if I put into my thesis. If it is in the thesis, is okay. Send me an email and I will approve you." Okay. "And let me know when we are going to defend the thesis, because I'm going to be there." I said to myself, "Come on, this guy is not going to be there." Well, he was there. Yeah, he was there. When I arrived to the meeting room to defend the thesis, he was there. And that was a big change, because after a few months later, McCain hired me to develop or to be the agronomy for Argentina and later on South America. So that was a big change. And one nice thing, at least in those years at McCain, that we were able to go on publishing the work. Of course, if it was not confidential, but any other kind of work, that the research work that is useful, and of course that you can publish, we were able to publish. So that was good. And in those years, I published not only the thesis, but also my first book based on a research program that I carried at university. So that was probably the last thing I did when I was at university. Then when I joined McCain, I had to make a transition from a researcher at university doing whatever you like, trying to find solution for a company. And I always say, and this is for you, that when I entered McCain, I never do some research about the situation of the company. They call me and I say, "Okay, yes, I like the position, blah, blah, blah." 3 months later, I understand why they have hired me. Because they have a big mess in agronomy. They don't have the variety, they have problems with the grower, they have problems with McDonald's. So I say, my goodness, I could have asked for the double, and I didn't. So that was the only thing that I regret. But immediately after being hired, the company sent me to Canada, December in Canada, 1 meter snow. So what I'm going to do after the course, because the course is ended at 4 in the afternoon, so nobody in the street, nothing, nowhere to go. McCain, have you been in Florenceville? Don't go in winter.
Okay.
Don't go in winter. There is nothing. Well, now it's kind of more, let's say, friendly place. But in those years, one hotel closed the restaurant at 7 in the afternoon, so nothing to do. So I asked the former agronomist at McCain, give me all the data you have about varieties, and I will try to use the evenings to work on that. So during that month, I analyzed 10 years of data of variety trials, and I found that Innovator was the best variety, and nobody was paying attention. So when I came back from Canada, I talked to my director and said, guys, we need to develop this variety. This variety? Yes, this variety. And we are going to replace Russell Bourbon and Shepherd with this variety. And it happened. So ACPC owes me a lot of money. So it was fun. We have our first experimental field in Balcarce, and it was a success. We moved the yield up of Shepherd. We were able to explain, I was able to explain the growers why the Russell Bourbon was not performing in that environment. Nobody was happy with the Russell Bourbon. And when a few years later, 2-3 years later, we were able to replace Russell Bourbon with Innovator. And it was funny because the McDonald's agronomist, the top McDonald's agronomist, Mitch Smith, probably some of you have known him. Mitch came to Argentina in 2004. And we said, Mitch, we are going to replace Russell Bourbon with Innovator. Oh, okay. They cannot say no, because that was the only way that we can supply, at that time, we can supply McDonald's. And they sent me a letter, a written letter, not email, nothing, a written letter with an envelope, explaining to me that McDonald's will approve Innovator as a bridge variety. Okay, that bridge has 26 years. Okay? Because McCain Argentina is still growing Innovator, all the other processors are growing Innovator. I used that letter to allow McDonald's to approve Innovator in China and South Africa. So it was nice, those years were nice. A lot of challenges. And as I said, I was able to go on doing research and publishing as of course, as far as it's not related to any confidential aspect of the company, the opportunity to travel a lot, all over the world. I also published at the end of, by mid-2006, my second book, supported by BASF and McCain. I have also the possibility to travel to Peru many times. That is the lady on the picture is my boss, not my wife. Nobody was saying nothing, and then we published in 2008, that was the year of the potato, we published our third book together with Anton Haverkor, published by FAO and the International Potato Center. And we go on working, especially we developed a lot of work in potatoes during those years to manage late blight. Late blight was an issue, and we developed a lot of strategies to improve the yield of the crop by managing in a proper way late blight. I also did a lot of work on physiological age, together with Paul and other colleagues from the Netherlands. And I told you, remember the picture, 1981, in 2009, I visited the Netherlands. I went with the group of growers, same place, well, more or less the same picture. But it was fun. And this is coming the end of McCain and During the last years before the COVID, we have a lot of internships trying to find talents around the world, and I was lucky to work with many of them in South Africa and China, so it was nice to do that. And also to travel to different countries, like we're joking about China, India, the countries that you have a lot of opportunities, but it's not easy to work there. And for me, I like to say the struggle in the cake was that the company gave me the responsibility to develop the Brazilian operation when McCain decided to put the factory in Brazil. So in 2018, 2020, just before the COVID started, we put together the agronomy program, we selected the growers, many different things. And as I said, I was still able to go on doing research. This is a very nice paper about why Royal, the variety Royal, why Royal is much more yielding than Daisy, Innovator, and the Russell type varieties. So, if somebody's interested, it's very nice. It's very physiological. So, during those years, I was able to travel a lot. Every dot is one of the places that I have been working on, of course related to potatoes. And at the end of my period, I was also able to publish the fourth book. That is, I'm very happy about this because we brought it to Argentina 3 months ago, and we have no books more. So it's a success. So I'm very pleased about that. And well, for me, potatoes is the passion. So when I ended with McCain, I created my own company and started to work for Restrain. That was due to Dirk. Dirk pursued me, I don't know how many times, to say, Daniel, you have to work for us, okay. So we tried for 1 year and I ended with 5. So it wasn't so bad. And now we are going to enter into the Latin market. Can you see the red now?
Mine.
No, okay. I will show like here, if I can. This is just to give you a view of the Latin American market. These are the countries from Mexico to Chile. And this is the area, the growing area. The total production in tons, the average yield, and the total processing volume. This is important. So if you see, most of the processing volume is coming from Brazil and Argentina. Almost 2 million tons are coming from those two countries. And this is also more important for Restrain. This is the total store volume in each country. And again, between Brazil and Argentina, you have almost 1 million tons. But we are not there yet. So, and what we did since 2021 until now, well, that's the total volume for treated with Restrain for LATAM. So we move up from 100,000 tons to almost 300,000 last year. Okay, this is Restrain treated volume. Okay. And now I'm going to split by country. So Mexico, there are big opportunities because these two companies, PepsiCo and Sabrita, they are competing, both store potatoes, but we have to win the, I'm not going to say the fight, but we have to win against One Foresight because they have been using One Foresight for years, so it's a kind of process. So we are there. Brazil is by far the biggest market, and again, this is the total volume treated by Restrain. You see the red bar is Ben Brazil, is the biggest customer. Is a customer that Daniel was asking that they wanted to have the dashboard on their own system, and the same day that they were asking me that, I was going to say, hey guys, this is okay, but I want an stair to climb into the stores. So they were asking for a lot of technology, and that's the reason that we hired Daniel Silva, because I was not able to climb into the stores. Yeah, it's true. It was crazy, yeah? How you want to climb into 5 meters of potatoes without the ladder? Yeah, okay. So we still have room there because Ben Brazil is storing alone more than 300,000, and we are not even yet with that. But McCain is storing all the 48,000 tons with Restrain since the beginning. Since they started the factory in 2021, they have been storing the 48,000 tons with Restrain. And they are very happy about that. I have to say that CIPC has never been registered in Brazil, okay? So that's the difference you will see now with Argentina. With Argentina, we have been moving slowly. And the main reason is that CIPC is registered there. So the companies are, let's say, more reluctant to move from something that is easy to apply, and they have been applying for 30 years, to Restrain that they have to pay attention to other things. So the McCain, Lamb Weston, Simplot, they are there. We have been working with the 3 of them, also with PepsiCo. But so far, what the main issue is that they are getting too many sprouts and the unloading time. So we need to see how to solve that. They are happy with the solution. They are happy because it is residue-free, but the main issue is the amount of sprouts at the end of the storage. Chile is an interesting market too, but we have only been successful with one PepsiCo grower, and again, they are reluctant to use Restrain because they want more months. And so far we can only give them 6 to 7 months, and they are looking for 9 to 10. So we need to do some extra work. But Chile is interesting. I have been working there a lot. They give me the opportunity to publish a paper in one of their journals about Restrain. So as I said, I always try to put something on written about what we are doing. Peru is very small, but it's interesting. Adrian was talking about the short cycle of the varieties, or the short dormancy period. Well, that's the problem with the indigenous type varieties. They have a very short dormancy period. So, and most of the companies doing chips there, PepsiCo or the local companies, they are trying to use their local varieties. So again, there is some kind of work that we need necessary to do there. And this is again the same slide that I showed at the beginning. But here I add the actual Restrain volume that we are storing and the share. So you see, for the total volume, we are only treating 10%. So there is a lot of room to grow with the store volume in Latam. Yeah. So if you are still awake, these are my passions. And that's one of the reasons that we have such a good relationship with Paul, because we played rugby in the past, some years ago only, quite we love to do fly fishing, and then other passion in my family. The boss is not here, but he's always present. Okay, so thanks a lot. I really enjoyed to work this year for Restrain, and I have the successor now. So that was Gonzalo helping me in 2000 harvesting potatoes. So his destiny was there. Okay, that's all.
I think it's fair to say that last year, between Daniel and I, I'm not going to say we crossed swords, but we had very
more or less.
we had very frank exchanges about what we thought good would look like between us.
But we were lucky that we were virtual.
Yeah. And what came out of those passionate exchanges between us both was Caldi's family continues. A new business has grown from that. Gonzalo, your daughter who's joined us today, welcome. Lovely to see you. And of course, ever present to the side, behind, and in front. Daniel continues within the business, helping us grow the region really quite successfully.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, potatoes is part of my passion. So as far as I can go on working, I have to do it. Otherwise, my wife is going to kick me out of the house. If there is any question, or if there is time for questions, I'm open. And I will be here the whole week, so. No?
And we'll be sharing a bowl of pasta and a glass
Perfect.
of wine tonight. So again, thanks for